Welcome to another TrackMyMachines tutorial. I'm Rowan Robinson, founder of TrackMyMachines, and today we're going to go through a general overview of the software. Once you've got it installed on your machinery, you'll be presented with a dashboard once you've logged in, and that'll show you this information right here. So we've got usage today, usage this week, and this is all percentage uptime of the actual spindle, not in cycle, because in cycle might still contain MO1s or long tool changes, or could be sat waiting for some operators to take swarf out of the machine. So this is actual spindle uptime, so productive time cutting metal, actual versus planned production time, and this is machine shift hours available today. So in this case, it's 24 hours one day plus 19, so that's, I guess, 33 hours available, and then 20 hours were actually used making components and running the spindle. Top machines this week, so we can see machine 4 has been used for 3 hours 56, machine 2 1 hours 28, machine 3 33 minutes. That's all in shifts. That's the last shift that we've seen. 62.8% for machine 4, so that's pretty good. Last week's breakdown for each cell or area. So we've got cell 1, area 1, cell 2, and then there's an unassigned area for machines that maybe don't quite fit in a cell just yet. Top machine last week was machine 2. I can see when it was used the most: Monday 4 p.m., Tuesday 12. Kind of half the hour was when it was most active, and the least active 10 a.m., 1 p.m., 12 p.m. So around lunchtime maybe. There's also a calendar here that fills in every single square when your factory utilization is. This is demo sites. We've not got much data here, but you might find sometimes if you visualize stuff by weekday, you can see kind of Mondays generally don't work so well, and then Tuesday you might get a slight uptick in production. If I go to overview, this is one of our many live screens. So this is what's happening on your factory floor right now. Most of our customers might put this on a TV in the office or above a certain cell to show what's happening on machinery today. Unfortunately, it looks like all the machines are off right now. One of them's been off. Actually, machine 1 and machine 5 have both been off for about 6 hours in the demo factory, which is not great. And only one's been used for 5 minutes, making 6 parts. Machine 4 here has been up for 3 hours 56, which is 62% better than the last shift that was run. And then how many cycles it's run. Down here you can see a little tiny timeline that gives you a feel for when the machine was running compared to the start and the end of the shift. So if we look at days, that's 9 till 5 here. Day shift, so this is 9 a.m., this is 5 p.m. We're kind of 3/4 of the way through it at about 4 p.m. today. If I now go to timeline, see a much more detailed view of what's happening for each machine. I can scroll back, look at all the cycles that have been run. I can look at the light pink here is the spindle's not running. The bright green in the background is it's running. And then we push together all the tool changes and all the small little bits of downtime you'll get inherent in the machine process and call that a cycle. If you want more accurate cycle times, we can do a direct machine integration, and rather than showing this cycle based on the productivity of the spindle, we show the program number and the actual cycle time the machine thinks it ran. This again is not really a great indicator of productivity because those cycles might have MO1s in or MOOs, optional stops, where the operator's going into the machine and pulling swarf out or changing a tip, and that shows actually you've still got inefficiency even though the machine thinks it's running. It's not really. So the best thing to do is measure the spindle first, see if you're making you're productive. And when I say spindle, that applies to CNC machines, but if you've got any machine that draws power when it's being productive, this timeline will work with that machine and show you when you're being productive. We've got up to 3 machine monitoring inputs in the hardware, so we can show you that any of the spindles are being productive regardless of which one it is, because you might have a more complex machine with a main spindle and a sub spindle. You see all these add reason links here, so I can click any of these. If I click, I've got a downtime reason between these 2 cycles. So there's a long break here between 5-minute 25 cycles, whereas the rest of them are kind of part loading times. This is obviously 6-minute 55, 5-minute 10 between parts. This is a long changeover a long part load between this cycle and this cycle. And I assume because it's about 1:30, that could be lunch. So if I go maintenance, manual work, let's say I'm still waiting on work setting, I'll set that as the downtime reason, and then that will add to my statistics. If I go to reports and overview, there's loads of different reports we can choose from. I won't show you them all, this being a short overview. If I click overview now, I can see the factory this week. Right now it's just Monday, so it's just showing me Monday right now. If I click last week, I can see the factory by day. So we've got 5 working days in these shifts on this demo factory, and each day has a different set of total shift hours available. 4 hours out of 4 hours, 43 hours. 9% is not very good for the factory. So on Tuesday it wasn't doing too well. Last week there were no downtime reasons, but there were shifts, so days and nights. And then I can compare for the whole shift hours available, machine shift hours available on this Tuesday, for example. We can see that split between here it's unaccounted downtime and uptime. If you have downtime reasons, we can then show you that those 43 hours of potential productive time will split again into different kinds of downtime if you start capturing downtime reasons. Here we can do lots of stuff like group by shift pattern, for example, and I can see how days versus nights compare per day. Here I can bucket by different things, so I can look at that week by hour, and that'd be a really in-depth view of how each hour performed on in my factory. Instead, if I bucket by max, I'll then see the shift patterns against each other. One thing I think we're quite proud about is if I go straight to this usage screen here and go to, let's say, factory, I can right click, go to drill down to the monthly bucket, so I can look at this month by month. I can drill down again and then drill down to weekly bucket, so I can look at this month by week. So I've got week commencing 3rd, week commencing the 10th, week commencing the 17th. See, this wasn't very good here, 8.2%, so I'll drill down to the daily bucket. So we've got lots of drill down functionality as well to make reporting really easy. We also do lots of operation utilization, so looking at how your utilization was over a certain job, which is really useful if you want to find out which jobs you need to invest time and money into, maybe improving the setup of the breakdown times or improving the part loading times. Cycle time analysis, where you assumed a part maybe took 2 minutes, but instead it was varying wildly from 1:50 to 8 minutes because maybe there's an MO1 and there's not an operator available to come and take the swarf out of the machine, for example. And then energy usage, the standard machine monitoring package from TrackMyMachines comes with energy usage monitoring standard, and this is an estimate of how much your machine is drawing. And we can do that on the granular level of per job or per cycle, and then we could also show you, the hourly, daily, monthly energy usage for your machine. This is really useful for carbon accounting. Look at the Manage tab. If you're an admin in TMM, which will set the kind of the relevant people up in your organization, you can manage your machinery, manage your areas, shift patterns, downtime reasons, so you can add as many downtime reasons as you want. Downtime alerts, so you can set up breakdown alerts and they can text or email maintenance, for example. You can set up downtime alerts on a weekend shift and then text someone who wants to be paged, maybe pay them a little bit of overtime, which is really useful. Components, so we can see different component names, how many routes they've got, and then their descriptions, and we can create different routes and operations for components. The rest of these are more administrative and not that feature filled, so I won't go through the rest of those. We also have a full instance of Grafana we can show you. So if I go click here, Grafana will load. We have an instance of Grafana that you can see the full dashboard, and we can look at the actual raw current draw on your machinery as well. So that's really useful for some people to see what the actual milling cycles look like on the machines, but that would mostly be the power users that would use that, and most people are using the standard TMM system. So that's been an overview of the software. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you'll be watching a few more tutorials and then trying to get to grips with how best to use TrackMyMachines with your business. If you need more support, go to support@trackmymachines.com, send them an email, and hopefully with me, I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And we're available during office hours. Give us a ring. There's a phone number on the website. If you need any more support, we're here to help.